it's Nikki with DragonflySaves, and I am back. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys. You know how I've been panicking about my credit card? It's due on the 15th, which it is due on the 15th. And I overspent and this and that. I was literally went into full-blown anxiety, panic-stricken the last couple of days. I've been sitting on my bed with binders everywhere, trying to figure out where I'm going to come up with $273 by the 15th so I don't have to pay interest. Binders everywhere, like I said. I didn't really move from the one spot because I was panicking and I needed to figure it out. So today was the eclipse, and my son and I went outside. It was too cloudy to actually see the eclipse with our eclipse glasses, but to get some pictures of, you can tell how like dark it was outside, and so that was cool. And I come back inside and I'm like, okay, we have to finish this because we cannot be panicking for 3 days. Like, that's not healthy. So I decided, all right, to see how far we've come, let's see where we were. Oh boy, that brought me down a whole different rabbit hole. So I spent the last few hours figuring out where I've come from. I mean, I have papers written with dates and stuff crossed out, and things changed, and this one's just literally listed of dates that I paid stuff off, or the same loan dates. So we're gonna start with loans. On June 28th, 2019, I got a lending club loan for $2,750. It was for 36 months at 17.97% interest. I made extra payments to principal on August 13th, 2021, September 10th, 2021, October 7th, and October 21, 2021. That was like a total of $600, so I could pay it off early. That goes along in August, September, and October with my regular payments. So I paid it off 6 months early on October 21. On August 29th, 2019, I got a line of credit at my bank for $1,000. And a week later, on 9/9, I wanted it upped, so I got that one bumped to $1,750. And then I decided that was not good enough, or not enough, and I got it bumped up to $3,000 on October 19th, 2019, blissfully unaware that it was dinging my credit for the last two. Well, for all of them, actually. Blissfully unaware. Not to mention, I already had enough crap going on. On February of 2021, I really started paying it down and not adding to. Because I was really good at paying some off and then being like, oh, I have money on there, now I can use it. So I would just transfer it right on over to my bank account and call it a day. And I paid that off on April 4th, 2022. And it didn't close for a while until like August of 23. At the same time, I had a small 401k loan going at my job, or through my job. I got paid off through my check. And I think that was the 2-year one. I don't know. I did that a couple of times. My first one, I did it for like 3 years. The second one I did, I think this is the second one for like 3 years, and I paid it off in 2. And then I did another one after that, and I paid that off in 8 months, and it was I took it out for 2 years. Then we have credit cards. August 17th, 2017, I did a credit card, a Visa, for $1,350. Well, that's what the credit ended up being. It started out lower than that. I paid it off in June of 2022, and on June 19th, 2022, I closed it. And that was an ordeal. That whole credit card was an ordeal. They did not want to close it. And I had 2 of them. On August 26th, 2018, I opened a Walmart store credit card, and that ended up having an $1,800 credit. I ended up paying that off in June of 2022 as well. And I closed that on June 18th, 2022. That is the only one I wish I would have kept out of the ones that I closed. They ended up getting, transferring to Capital One. And I really wish I would have kept that. But that's okay. August 27th, 2018, I took out another Credit One credit card. This time it was a MasterCard, and my credit limit was $1,200. And I paid that off in June of 2022 as well. And I closed it at the same time I closed the other one, but it closed on a different date. So still June of 2022. Both Credit One credit cards, they had a monthly fee that I was getting charged. One was $12 and something, and the other one was $6. The Walmart one didn't have one. October 8th, 2018, I opened up a PayPal credit. It's $1,000. I still have that. January 20th in 2022, I paid it off. Now, it's important to note that I really started spending, on July 12th, 2019, because I looked at all my statements, and that was the first statement. That's where it started. And I paid it off on January 20th, 2022. I was really living my best life in 2019, apparently. September 20th, 2019, I got an Old Navy store credit card. My limit was $500, and then it dropped down to $200, which is fine. I still have the Old Navy credit card. I use it for new pajama pants every year for Christmas. March 8th, 2020, I got a JCPenney store credit card. That was also a $500 limit. They dropped it down to $210. That was when all this was going on, and I just haven't upped it because there's no need for it. No need for me to up it. I keep that because I use that for Christmas time as well. And on November 9th, 2021, I was at the garage across the street, and I needed new tires. My tires were crappy. I don't have an all-wheel drive. I only have a 2-wheel drive, so I needed good tires. So they had this thing for you get this credit card. It's like a credit card through like body shops and stuff like that, mechanics places and such. So I did that so I could get tires, and it has a thing where anything over I forget how much. I want to say $600, but it could be a little more than that. Maybe it's $650. Anything over that, then it's 6 months no interest. So I had to do that to get pay for my tires. And that started out with a lower limit, but now it's at $3,200. Which it's paid off. I really only used it for that. And I used it, I think, one time after that. But I like to have that in case of emergency. It's nice to have. And then June 19th, 2022, I got a Chase Freedom credit card, which is my favorite thing ever. I use that thing to leverage my credit. And it's got a $4,000 limit. That's what I started with, and it hasn't hasn't done anything. That's where it's at. So I really sat here going, okay, 2019 was not a good year. Not even 2020. But 2021, that's where we really started turning it around. And I've been so panicky because all of these credit cards, well, all of these ones, all of these have been at one time or another maxed out. Maxed all the way out. That's $1,300, $1,800, plus $1,200, plus $1,000, all maxed out at the same time, plus my loans. I was sinking quick. However, the job I was at had a very good incentive program every so often. So I think it was like a couple of months there was an incentive where anything over 45 hours a week got considered as double time. So I was working 70 hours a week. So that's when me starting to pay stuff off came into play. And yeah, so I was like, okay, compared to my $273 on my credit card, or compared to this, the $273 on my credit card is not that, it's really nothing. Why am I freaking out? Like, why? And then I looked at my credit card today. My credit card on the app. Look at that. I'm gonna insert the picture right here. Why was I freaking out? Oh my god. I am something else. But, so $273. The 74 was pending, but now it's not. So $273.53 is what I owe as of today. It's due on the 15th. But right next to that date, it says $0 are due on that day. Do you know what that means? That means that this, if I don't pay it down, or whatever I don't pay down, will just carry over on the 18th. Or after the 15th. I think it's the 18th is when my stuff goes to the credit bureau. I was worried about it reporting to the credit. That's what I was really worried about, if you want to get technical. And I don't know why I was freaking out. It's okay, Nikki. It is okay to carry this over. I don't have a balance. This is just going to get carried over. I'll just pay it off. Yeah, I might like ding my credit for like a point or two, but it's going to bounce back when I pay this off the following month. So we're not going to panic. And now I kind of feel stupid because I should have like seen this, and all I could picture in my head was the date. I wasn't picturing what was next to it. And it's all because of all of these that I had before. I was in over my head. I was drowning in so much freaking debt that I didn't even think if I was going to be able to make it. I don't know. It was not good. It was not a good time. I was very depressed at this time. And I don't know. But for some reason, I just dug deep and did what I had to do, and I am out of all that debt. Whew, that was a bad time. So $273, we're not gonna freak out about. That was horrible. I don't know why I was panicking, but it was literally 2 days of me not moving because I was panicking and I had to figure this out. I'm going through binder after binder, like, okay, I'm gonna take all this money out and I'm gonna have to tell my channel that I had to start all over, and I just don't want to have to tell. I didn't want to have to tell you guys that, but that's what we were gonna have to do. And we don't have to do that, so that's good. That is so good. I mean, I'm gonna use some of these challenges towards that, I'm sure, but I still have time to pay this off. So how are we gonna pay this off? Well, I'm gonna do side hustles. I'm gonna continue to do my savings challenges. Look, I already got pen on my new binder. I'm gonna just keep doing my savings challenges and trust the process. It's all gonna work out. We all know that this method, this cash stuffing method, works. We know that doing savings challenges and saving money the fun way, it works. It helps. So what I wanted to say to you guys is, if you feel like you're drowning, please do what I did. Write everything down. I mean, this is a mess. I mean, I literally wrote down every date that I paid this loan off, to the point where on June 28th, 2019, my payments were, for this lending club loan, $99.38. My first payment, it was $58.20 to principal and 20 cents to principal, and $41.18 to interest. My very first payment, $41 to interest. That's half the cost, basically, of my principal payment. So then a year later, my payment's still the same, but now my principal payment was $71.28, and my interest was down to $28.10. So I was like, "Ooh, I really saw some progress." I didn't see that until now, and this is years later. Then, I mean, I was late on a payment, and in order for it not to ding me, I had to call and make a payment arrangement, and I had to change my date. I changed my date. So instead of like the end of the month, I did it in the beginning of the month. So at my 2-year mark, I paid to principal $85.03. At the 2-year mark, I was paying $58 on my first day, and only $14.35. And then I paid it off, you know, with extra payments in the next 6 months. But man, it's good to see. And then I wrote down everything, and I crossed it off as I wrote it neater on a different piece of paper. But I wrote down everything to see where I was. Oh, did we even talk about my cars? Oh, did I even write that down? I didn't. I also had cars, guys. I had cars. In 2018, I had a car with really high interest. I think the car was only $11,035, but the interest was like 24%. And then, what was it? In 2020, the car got totaled. So, Gap Insurance paid only $4,000 of it. So I paid the rest of the car. It was basically like paying $22,000. I paid $22,000. They paid the rest. And so I had to get a new car. So 6-year loan. I refinanced in, trying to read this, I have it all like jumbled here, 2022 with Reliant Credit Union, and my interest went from 16 something to 3.59, and I paid that off in July of 22. Wait, no. I refinanced in July 9th, 2022. Sorry, guys. And I paid it off October 31st, 2023. So, that was recently. So the total I had my car was 4 years, so I paid it off 2 years early. Because when I refinanced, I did it for the same amount of years that I was going to be at. I didn't lower it. I had 56 months left, and that's what I refinanced at, 56 months. So my payments went from like $365 to $291. I did get, it would have been less, but I did get insurance or not insurance, disability and all of that through the car thing, just in case. But that's paid off. I tried to go into my account and look, but as soon as you pay it off, they take it off your bank account. So I couldn't really give you an actual date. I know it was the 31st I paid it off, though. So yeah, I really was sitting there in my mess. I was sitting in there in my mess for a little while to come to the conclusion that basically I overreacted, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So yeah, just know that if you think it's really bad and you're drowning, write down everything and where you've been, and then you can see how far you've come. It helps. And that's all I have for you today. So I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.